I'm going to do a reading today, or an insight today. I was sitting there with my wife last night, and I was just sitting there watching TV, and I was just relaxing. And she just sort of like said to me last night. She said, "Oh, look at the moon." And the moon last night was so crystallized, and it was like so beautiful, but it was also so like illuminated last night. And I was sort of like getting into the energy last night, and I felt like the energy that was coming from the moon was very much sort of connected in removing and dissolving, but it was also looking at sort of like illusion. Um, and I've been having a lot of thoughts about sort of like 3D reality and like 5D reality and like living in the physical world, and how we sort of like go through many things in sort of related to sort of like money and sort of like the physical reality. For a long time, sort of like since sort of like my journey on this earth, I've always sort of like tried to struggle and look for a balance within that. You know, there's a spiritual self, and there's like a physical self, and the physical self is very much sort of the external world. And I talk about this sort of like the universal law of correspondence that talks about um, you sort of like the inner world, and sort of like the source light in creation, and how we sort of walk through life with this energy, this light, that this creator aspect of self, and how this works as a lens, to sort of like through intuition, through insight, through sort of communication, how it opens us up, um, to start to express our light through our physical sort of like bodies and our physical sort of minds. And for me, it's sort of I feel like there's a lot of stuff going on where things are being sort of like refocused, and this seems to be the message that I feel like I want to talk about today, is like refocusing your light, your energy, your expressing your light in a way. And the refocus is very much around, it connects directly to again, transformation, transmutation, and it connects directly to um, Saint Germain, and that sort of energy, that light. Archangel Michael very much works with transmutation and transformation as well. On my angel cards, when you look at Michael, he's like an Egyptian, sort of like, I feel like there's an Egyptian figure, and Michael very much connects to that. So like transmutation and transformation is very much around refocusing, and again it connects to illumination. Again, illumination is the process of expressing light, but also receiving light, and receiving light, insights, messages. And again, it connects. I also, as I'm feeling this, I'm connecting into, I feel like Archangel Gabriel very much bringing a message. You've got Almora as well, which is very much around the like the universal mind, and it's all connects into that. So this telescope, or this sort of lens that's being refocused, is consciousness and understanding and awareness that is coming through for many of us at the moment, to start to look at our physical lives. But it's also about balance, and balance is such an important one because the universe works in this infinite balance. Um, you've got like, without balance, basically there isn't harmony, there isn't peace. But it's also balancing this kind of like, we've got many different vibrations and frequencies, and we've got dimensional realities, and it very much connects to like a multi-dimensional self. And I feel like sort of like this lens is very much around that. It's like lens of like a prism of light is you know, the light goes through it, and then it's sort of like it's separated, and it goes out into all these different colors. And the ascended masters and the sort of like spiritual sort of vibrations and frequencies and harmonies of source light and creation works in this way. They work in, they're, 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 they're sort of all these light vibrations and these light colors and these frequencies are very much around that. And this lens is doing that we're working on many different sort of like aspects of self. And I've been talking about aspects of self in the sense of creating different aspects of self over the last few weeks. And I feel the message is very much around that this lens is being focused, but also this lens is symbolic of this light going through, and it's sort of like, and it's fracturing, it's going to these different sort of like frequencies, and we're like this. We're sort of like, as this spiritual being and this being, we have these many different aspects of self, but the source creation and light is infinite sort of realities, it's infinite realms, it's infinite vibrations, infinite frequencies, but it's also a symbolic because the light frequencies are very much connected also to the levels of like ascended masters and the ascended master rays, and this is what they're saying to me. And I feel like also when I'm talking about transmutation and transformation, it's very much like you're transforming with consciousness. The consciousness is being focused with this lens, and the lens is symbolic of the source light and creation. That each and every one of us are like that lens. So before sort of like at the core is this source energy, this golden light, this infinite golden light. But also each and every us, our consciousness is like this lens, and as sort of the light hits this lens, it goes off into these different frequencies, different colours, um, and also these different sort of like rays of light. And ascended masters work on these different like rays as does the archangels. So you've got like Almora that's working on the universal, the divine intelligence, the divine mind. You've got like, and they're all source light vibrations and frequencies. And then you've got like Serapis Bay working on ascension. They're all working on ascension. They're all working in perfect harmony, and this is where the balance and harmony comes in, because they're all that light that goes through that lens, which is part of the source light creation. Each ray is part of the whole of this part of this oneness, which is all this like source light creation, which is each and every one of us are like a lens for that. We're a lens because we all have these different aspects, or these different sort of we have these aspects where we all have this ability to harness and to resonate on these different rays. And the ascended masters are helping us with that. They're helping us with that by we're integrating with these different rays, and this is what's happening with the ascended masters, but this is also what's happening with the infinite teachers, the infinite sort of like teachers, spiritual teachers. The last few days I've had like it's like I've got like a placemat on my desk, which is very much like Melchizedek, and he was like when I first came across Melchizedek as a universal teacher, I came across him as I had a teacher, my old Reiki teacher, who Melchizedek was a guide, or like a guide that worked with them, and he's a universal teacher that brings infinite knowledge, infinite wisdom from many different sort of realities, many different realms, and he's a universal teacher for this planet. And the ascended masters work like that as well. The ascended masters work on this planet. Lord Cthulhu is another like universal teacher that brings this infinite sort of wisdom and understanding, as all the masters do. They're all universal teachers, and this sort of lens and these rays and these are all part of the universal vibration, the universal frequency. So this is telling me that we are shifting and changing. Our lens is opening up to receive more light, more consciousness, more understanding, but our lens is also opening up to resonate with these different universal frequencies and universal rays. And this is what the moon was about. The moon was very much around, this beautiful moon last night was very much about these new universal frequencies, these universal rays that are coming in. And the rays have infinite colours and infinite vibrations and infinite frequencies. Like an ascended master's ray is a ray, but within that ray is many different sort of like frequencies of light. So, and that brings many different sort of insight, wisdom and understanding. And this is what this time's about. Again, it's about opening up our source energy to become more aligned, at this time as our lens opens up. In the sense, I'm using lens as a symbolic thing, but a lens is sort of it needs light. It needs light to go through it. So that lens is symbolic of our source energy, and our lenses are becoming more focused. They're becoming more refined with the new frequencies that are coming through, which are bringing this new consciousness, this new understanding, this new awareness, and for these new universal frequencies. And it's opening up again these energy sort of like lines, these energy sort of frequencies for these ascended masters, these universal teachers, to once again be working with us. I know the angels are working with me as I've got two massive white angel wings that have just come behind me, and there's different colours. There's like purple, there's orange, there's green, there's like a turquoise. There's these different colours that keep coming in. And violet just comes into my mind again, which is connected obviously to Saint Germain's violet ray, and it's all about transmutation and transformation. But the transmutation and transformation is very much around as we go on this spiritual path, and we go on this spiritual frequency, we become more attuned to that light, that source light creation. So we're this is where the ascension's coming back, because we're coming back into that oneness vibration, that source light and creation, and that creator aspect of self. But we're also being opened up to these universal frequencies that are starting to come in. And there's many guides and angels that are working with us at the moment. And the more that we become open to it, the more we receive that light and that wisdom and that intuition and that understanding, the more we start to express our spiritual selves. But again, I was talking about balance, which is really important, and balance again goes through what I'm talking about here, because each of these rays work in perfect harmony, and harmony is balance. And everything that we do should be around harmony. It should be around what we do to become more in harmony with one, our true self, or our infinite self, but we also become in harmony with the creator, which is the source light creation. And that's coming in, that then starts to come into harmony with our own creators, because we are sustained by the source light creation, which is like it is like the sun. Basically, the source light creation is like sun, like a universal spiritual sun that sustains all of us. It sustains all of our infinite beings with light energy, vibration and frequencies. And it's about us sort of like becoming more, aware, more sort of focused into that. Because when we become focused into that, we become focused into our infinite and true natures. And this is where the wisdom, this is where the illumination comes from, this is where the understanding comes from. So it's about taking each day to be more in that light, more in that, and focus things. And I'm talking about balance and harmony in a way when we're talking about like the 3D reality and the 5D reality and all these different dimensional realities. But I was also having a thought the other day. I was having like I felt like a teaching moment, because for a long time I've always tried to sort of like move away from the 3D reality, the physical material world. But this is where we are, and this is what we're living, and this is what we're walking. As the ascended masters and as Christ and other beings walked on the planet, they walked with their spiritual light, but they also walked in whatever reality, whatever sort of like reality was happening then. Like Master Jesus walked in years and years ago, where there was unrest and religious religious sort of like challenges, and spiritual challenges and healing challenges and political challenges, but they just walked in that. They walked with their light, and so this is where this universal law of correspondence comes in again, and it connects to the lens, because the lens is that you walk with that light and that understanding, that wisdom, that consciousness, but you also walk in the world and express that at the same time. That's the harmony, that's the balance, and that's why you're down here. That's why we all come down here at that time. Is each and every one of us has incarnated for this reason. We are here right now at the right time, and we are in the right place. Our lens is focused, and it's about expressing that light, that energy, which is our core, our center. And we're walking in this light, and it's sort of in this sense, when this came through the other day, it gave me a bit of peace, which was the harmony, the balance, that the physical world is where I am, and it's the reality I'm living in, and we are in a very materialistic 3D reality, but it's about balancing that. It's about balancing the two. So it's like creating and expressing from inside, but also walking in the 3D reality, and understanding that the acceptance that is still the consciousness of the planet, the consciousness of where we are right now. You can change it and shift it, but it's also, anything like this is a collective consciousness. It needs to be done collectively. Spiritually, nothing is done singular. It's nothing is done on the I vibration in that sense. It is, because like you've got the I am presence, but it's a we vibration, which is the infinite one vibration, the oneness vibration, which is that we're all vibrating, and we're all part of the same source energy. But it's about us vibrating consciously together to shift and change reality, to move it to a different frequency, which is what the rays and the universal energy is coming in now, is to awaken us to the ascension process, that we're all part of the source light creation, that we're all one vibration and we're one frequency and we're one being, really, in that way, because we're all born from the same being, so we all vibrate as this universal family of light and energy. And this is what the lens is saying. The lens is saying, remember, and awaken to it, and sort of walk as it, but also walk in harmony, walk in balance, walk in peace. um, Everything needs to be balanced. So it's balancing and focusing your lens and your energy and your light and expressing it, but also allowing those new vibrations, those frequencies to integrate within your energy and integrate in your consciousness, to start to bring and shift, and bring insight, wisdom, understanding, and also allow creation and change to happen, because it's coming now with the new moon and the new energies. That's the insight for today.